Commentary on the Apocalypse is a book written in the 8th century by the Spanish monk and theologian Beatus of Liébana.It is a commentary on the New Testament Apocalypse of John, a Book of Revelation. It also refers to any manuscript copy of this work, especially any of the 26 illuminated copies that have survived. It is often referred to simply as the Beatus. The historical significance of the commentary is made even more pronounced since it included a world map, which offers a rare insight into the geographical understanding of the post-Roman world. Well-known copies include the Morgan, the St. Sever, the Girona, the Osma, and the Madrid Beatus Codices. Considered together, the Beatus Codices are among the most important Spanish medieval manuscripts and have been the subject of extensive scholarly and antiquarian inquiry. The illuminated versions now represent the best-known works of Mozarabic art and had some influence on the medieval art of the rest of Europe. The Commentary on the Apocalypse. The work consists of several prologues and one long summary section before the first book, an introduction to the second book, and 12 books of commentary, some long and some very short. Beatus states in its dedication to his friend Bishop Aetherius that it is meant to educate his brother monks. The work is structured around selections from previous Apocalypse commentaries and references by Tychonius, St. Primasius of Hadramentum, St. Caesarius of Arles, St. Apringius of Bethar, and many others. There are also long extracts from the texts of the Fathers of the Church and Doctors of the Church, especially Augustine of Hippo, Ambrose of Milan, Irenaeus of Lyons, Pope Gregory I, St. Jerome, and Isidore of Seville, as well as others. Some manuscripts add commentaries on the books of Ezekiel and Daniel by other authors, genealogical tables, and the like, but these are not strictly part of the Beatus. The creative character of the commentary comes from Beatus's writing of a wide-ranging catena of verses from nearly every book of the Bible, quotes of patristic commentary from many little-known sources, and interstitial original comments by Beatus. His attitude is one of realism about church politics and human pettiness, hope and love towards everyday life even when it is difficult, and many homely similes from his own time and place. His work is also a fruitful source for Spanish linguistics, as Beatus often alters words in his African Latin sources to the preferred synonyms in Hispanic Latin. The Message. After 711 AD, Spanish Christians found themselves being persecuted by Muslims. They could no longer practice the religion openly, bells and processions were forbidden, churches and monasteries were destroyed and were not reconstructed. Persecutions often led to bloody outcomes. The Apocalypse and the symbolism in it took on a different meaning. The beasts, which had previously been believed to represent the Roman Empire, now became the Caliphate, and Babylon was no longer Rome, but Cordoba. In continuity with previous commentaries written in the Tychonian tradition, and in continuity with St. Isidore of Seville and St. Apringius of Bethar from just a few centuries before him, Beatus's commentary on the Apocalypse focuses on the sinless beauty of the eternal Church, and on the tares growing among the wheat in the Church on earth. Persecution from outside forces like pagan kings and heretics is mentioned, but it is persecution from fellow members of the Church that Beatus spends hundreds of pages. Anything critical of the Jews in the Bible is specifically said to have contemporary effect as a criticism of Christians, and particularly of monks and other religious, and a good deal of what is said about pagans is stated as meant as a criticism of Christians who worship their own interests more than God. Muslims are barely mentioned, except as references to Christian heresies include them. Revelation is a book about the Church's problems throughout all ages, not about history per se. In the middle of Book 4 of 12, Beatus does state his guess about the end date of the world, although he warns people that it is folly to try to guess a date that even Jesus in the Bible claimed not to know. Copies of the manuscript. Principal copies. The more notable among the 31 Beatus manuscripts are the Navarra fragment, 9th century, Abbey of Santo Domingo de Silos, Beatus of the Monastery of San Millán de la Cogolla, California, 930. Madrid, Real Academia de la Historia, Ms. 33, Escorial Beatus of San Millán, California, 950-955. El Escorial, Real Biblioteca de San Lorenzo, Ms. and Amp. 2, 5. 225 by 355 mm. 151 leaves, 52 miniatures. Morgan Beatus of San Miguel de Escalada, California, 960. Morgan Library, Ms. 644. 280 by 380 mm. 89 miniatures, painted by Magus Archipicture. Beatus of San Salvador de Tavara, California, 968-970. Madrid, Archivo Histórico Nacional, Ms. 1097b. Painted by Magus, finished after his death by his pupil Emeterius. Beatus of Valcavado, California, 970. Valladolid, Biblioteca de la Universidad, Ms. 433. 97 miniatures extant, painted by Aveco for the Abbot Semporius. Urgel Beatus of Rioya, Leon, California, 975. Cathedral of l'Seu de Urgel, Archives, Ms. 26. 90 miniatures. Girona Beatus of Tavara, California, 975. Cathedral of Girona, Archives, Ms. 7. 260 by 400 mm. 280 leaves. 160 miniatures. Painted by Emeterius and by the nun Enda. Beatus of San Millán, 2nd, 3rd of the 10th century. Madrid, Biblioteca Nacional, Ms. v. 14.1. Beatus of Liébana, or of Leon, or of Facundus, 1047. Now Madrid, Biblioteca Nacional, Ms. v. 14.2. Made for Ferdinand I and Queen Sancha. 267 by 361 mm. 312 leaves. 98 miniatures. Painted by Facundus. Beatus. 1086. Cathedral of El Burgo de Osma. Archives. God. 1. 225 by 360 mm. 166 leaves. 71 miniatures. Scribe. Petrus. Painter. Martinus. St. Sever Beatus from St. Sever. 1060-1070. Paris. BNF. Ms. Lat. 8878. Beatus of Santo Domingo de Silos. 1091-1109. London. British Library. Ms. Ad. 11695. Later copies. Rylands Beatus, Manchester, John Rylands Library, Latin MS8, California, 1175. Cardina Beatus, California, 1180, and the folios are dispersed between collections in Madrid, Museo Arqueológico Nacional, and a private collection Francisco de Zabalburu y Basabe, New York Metropolitan Museum of Art, and Girona. A facsimile edition by M. Molero editor has gathered them all to recreate the original volume as it was. Beatus of Liébana. written in 1189 in the monastery of St. Mamas in Louvre, Arquivo Nacional d'Arte de Tombeau in Lisbon. Arroyo Beatus, written in the first half of the 13th century in the region of Burgos, perhaps in the monastery of San Pedro de Cardena, Paris and New York, Castile, 1220, Morgan Library, MS 429. Gallery.